guys? Here's one of your hosts of that hit channel, Shreddy Bois. I'm just here to give you a little bit of an update. Let's start with that. Me and Brian are working on some more stuff for you coming up, and with the new Magic the Gathering set for Marvel's Spider-Man, we're going to be rolling out some more content. We're working on a new cover, so there's some stuff, and we're going to be rolling out some more stuff for you coming up. But today's video, I figured I just had a feeling, I've got Magic the Gathering on my mind. So what we're going to do here is I have a little tier list thing open right here. And we're going to rank, I'm going to rank all of my commander decks. Now, as you see down here, we have a lot of them. I've been playing for not that long. I've been playing for like 2 years basically. And I have been just absolutely obsessed and consumed. I have 34 commander decks. And, a lot of them are precons. When I first started, I just, bought precons. And, especially with some of these newer sets like Final Fantasy, I love the IP so much. I just wanted the whole, deck versus buying singles or whatever. So, yeah, I'm just going to go and rank all of them. And I think what I'll do is I'll base the criteria off of two things. Does it play well? Is it actually good versus my actual love for the deck? There's going to be some non-applicables in here. I'm just going to go through all of them, and it's going to be how well do they perform versus my actual enjoyment. So let's go. All right, let's start off. You know what? This is in a weird order, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick. I guess what I could do is pick one of my earliest versus, what I'm doing now. When I first started playing, my first absolute precon was Dogmeat. I asked my brother, who had been playing for years, I'm like, hey, for somebody getting into Magic, what is a deck that even the dumbest person can learn? And he said, Dogmeat. If you don't know, Dogmeat is from the Fallout series. So that was what got me into Magic the Gathering. Is it was a universes beyond characters from actual IPs that I love put into this game. So I was like, hell yeah. And Dogmeat was pretty easy to learn. This is not the precon. I made a lot of adjustments to it to the point where it performs very well, and unfortunately because of that very reason I don't get to play it very much. Everybody kills me as soon as I play this. They see the Dogmeat and they don't give it a chance. They don't let me even play. So it kind of sucks. I love this deck. I love absolutely playing it. So my love for it versus how well it performs, it's kind of like a 50-50 now how it performs, because people kill it immediately. I'm going to put this deck at, I'm going to put it at a B. That'd be a good parameter. I really love playing this deck and it performs well, but I don't play it very much because everybody hates it. Okay, another one. I might as well just get the Fallout decks. This is Caesar. This is if you're not familiar, Caesar from Fallout series again. He just goes absolutely crazy. He's Mardu colors. You pick two different modes when you attack, and he basically creates tokens. It's a tokens deck. That's the way that I play it, and it goes off the chain so quickly. And I love playing this deck. However, I feel like at times it could be mean. I put a lot of really good cards into it. But with that being said, its performance is so good. I only bring this out when I absolutely want to beat somebody down. So I'm going to put it in A because it is a really good deck. I'm trying to think where I should go now because a lot of these are newer. You know what? I will go with this right here. I'm going to go with, this is Ezio, another Universes Beyond property from Assassin's Creed. Ezio is the first deck that I put together that I was I did it 100% by myself. I was so proud of it. And it's a really good deck. My enjoyment, I love to play this. And I'd say it even performs very well. Because sometimes people will just they won't even pay attention to it, and before they know it, I'm already doing a bunch of stuff. So this is I'd say I put it at an A. It works. I've only gotten 2 wins with this, unfortunately, because, although there are a lot of assassins, especially in that set, unfortunately, there's no really, really big, crazy assassins. It's a lot of little guys, so I feel like by the time people know my plan, they immediately shut it down. So great deck. I love playing it. I'm going to put it at an A. Alright. Now, might as well just do the other one too. Leonardo da Vinci. If you don't know the card, I'll put it here. He's really good. Monocolored deck. I would say my first monocolored. He's just monocolored blue. And it's very simple. The game plan is just make Thopters and then make them big and buff. Attack your enemy. I really like this because I was inspired by Game Nights. I don't know. If you know, it's on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel. But one of the hosts was playing Leonardo, and he did so well with it, and it just really inspired me to make this commander. I really like playing it, and it has some wins under its belt. However, I don't think it performs as well in this category. I'd say I'd probably put it in B because I love it and it does do well, but it's definitely not overpowered or anything. And I love artifacts, so that's where my love for artifacts started right there. Alright, I guess I could do some more Universes Beyond properties. I have 3 of the Warhammer precons. I love the IP Warhammer. I don't play the game. I love the lore, so I guess I could do Necron. Leader here is Emotech. He's really cool, mono black, and the point of the deck is very simple. You're just bringing stuff, you're milling stuff, bringing it back, and you're creating a bunch of Necron tokens. If it's unchecked, this deck can go really crazy really quickly. And I like this deck because it can recover from board wipes very well, But I like the game plan. I like the IP. All of the cards are super cool. And I have it upgraded, so it's not the bare precon. It does really well. I'm going to put it at A. So this is a newer one. I don't have as many... Abaddon the Despoiler. I forgot. I think it's the Forces of the Imperium, the actual deck. But this deck is really, really good, but it's really, really chaotic. I've only played... This is a very new deck that I've got, and I've only played 2 matches, and it's won 1 and it's lost 1. And what I like about this is you could just change the tide of the whole game. There's a bunch of different board wipes in here and stuff that would, very chaotic deck. I really like it. I don't think it applies though because I haven't had enough time with it and I haven't changed any cards in it. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to put it in non-applicable, but it's not a bad deck. This is a great deck. It's just I don't think it really applies because I haven't edited it or anything like that. Alright, Magnus Lucia Kane is the commander that I like for the Tyrannid Swarm precon. This deck is awesome. I absolutely love the Tyrannid Swarm. And with upgrades, this thing gets really out of control really quickly. However, I feel like when it doesn't hit, when you don't have the mana, and you can't raise those X costs of all those fancy Tyrannids and Hydras and stuff, it could suck sometimes. So it's not in the A or the S. I'd say it'd probably B. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of... I might as well just do an S deck. So this is another deck that I put together totally by myself. I was very proud of it, but however, It's not a new card. This is Miku Queen Electric. It is a reprint of King Brago. So if you guys don't know what that is, I'll just post it there. It's Blink Shenanigans, basically. And this is my strongest deck. I'd say it's closest to like bracket 4 or 5 or something like that. It is like if the engine starts going, it's really nuts. So I'm just going to put it in S. I don't like playing it. I do and I don't. I do because it's the chances of me winning are so high with this deck. However, it takes the matches so long and everybody hates you and you hate yourself for what you're doing. Tons of triggers, every single turn. It's a lot to keep up with. But this is probably one of my best decks. So my enjoyment is like a medium. The success rate is like very high, so I'm throwing that up there. Let me see. I suppose I could do these. I have Zuladak. I have 2 Eldrazi decks. So when I first started playing, it was really I saw my friend Sean playing, with the Eldrazi, and then I just loved the aesthetic so much of Eldrazi. I was very curious, and I looked up the 2 decks that they have. The one Commander Masters, I believe, was Zuladak, and then the other, I forgot what series it is, but Ulalek was the other deck. I bought both of them, and I upgraded both of them to be very, very powerful decks. If you know, Eldrazi are really, difficult to deal with. However, you're doing all of your stuff in the late game. It's very hard to, even with ramp, your Eldrazi spells are like 7 and higher, at least the good ones. So it's a lot of rocks, it's a lot of ramping. But Zuladak, once the engine starts going, it's like insane. I would put him in an S. Whenever I play this deck, I feel like unless I get shut down at every turn, this deck goes off very quickly. Ulalek, I would say, is weaker than it. It's, the game plan of Ulalek is basically, so Zuladak is just cascade shenanigans. So that's the whole game plan there. If you know, here's the card. Ulalek just copies colorless spells, I believe. So, sometimes you don't have the mana to keep doing it, but sometimes you get some really cool stuff. It's all a matter of timing with this deck. And although it's not as strong as Zuladak, I've really gone out of control with this deck. So put it in A. It's a really strong deck. I guess I could move back a little bit. I have Derivi here. Derivi is another deck that I made totally 100% just from scratch, and I really like this deck a lot, but it has issues. I feel like it doesn't get sometimes I get very landlocked, or it's just it's a bird deck, so I'll have a bunch of birds out, but if people have big scary creatures out, I feel like it's not powerful enough to take down like an Eldrazi, for an example. But the game plan is really fun. I love Derivi as a commander. If you don't know, he's one of the older commanders basically, and I really like it. But it just doesn't perform as well, so it's weird. I put Derivi probably at a C. My enjoyment versus how well it performs, Let's see what we got here. I guess I could do another Fallout. So this is not a precon. This is Hancock Ghoulish Mare, and it's all zombie shenanigans. So that was another deck I made completely from scratch. And it's just zombies. Zombie tribal, Mono black zombie tribal. So it's got everything you think that would be in there. I feel like I haven't played enough matches, and the matches that I do, it has gotten shut down a lot. But my enjoyment, I love playing. It's very fun to just, I have my preferred color combinations and styles, and Hancock is such the opposite of what I would normally do that I find this fun to play. So my enjoyment is very high, but the success rate is not. So I put like right next, maybe higher. Nah, probably lower than Trevi. So it's not a bad deck. It's just, drawing in mono black, you have to use your life as a resource. I feel like it doesn't pop as quickly. You're kind of just trying to keep up with everybody at the table. So there you go. Agatha of the Vile Cauldron. Now this is, I don't know what that color combination, I'm going to put it here. It's green and red. But this is the deck that I was like so excited to make. Basically she takes the activated abilities of creatures and lowers them greatly, and there's tons of creatures that have insane costs for activated abilities, and she basically cuts it so you're doing all these crazy things. And I feel like I tried so hard with this deck to make it work, and my love of playing it as well as the success rate are very low. And it kind of sucks because like I tried really hard with this deck. Its success rate I'd say is lower than these two for sure. Unfortunately, maybe we could turn this around. I could play it more. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that much experience, but I have to put it here just because I feel like this deck has kind of has failed me, but we'll see until next time. Let's go Lord of Pain. Now, Duskmourn was the first set that, basically I came in during Bloom Barrel. However, I was not interested in Bloom Barrel at all because I'm just not into like cutesy stuff, So Duskmourn was on the horizon, and I just absolutely loved the idea of doing like the schlocky horror in Magic. And this was the first set that I bought a lot of stuff for. And I bought the Endless Punishment deck. There was a bunch of drama there, with Amazon and all that. But I finally got my hands on it. This deck, its success rate is strange because it's a burn deck. So you're not going to take over the board like the Eldrazi or the tokens or anything. You're mostly just going to sit back and kind of watch what everybody's doing. But Lord of Pain as a commander is so good. And then the Endless Punishment deck, there's a reason why it's still like $100 or like $90 right now or something. But this is great. I love playing it. Red-black can be like slow to draw sometimes. That's its biggest weakness, is you're not getting a lot of card draw. I'd say B. That sounds about right. Like, I've won a couple times with this deck. You burn through so many, and before people know it, it's like too late. All right, another one, a newer set that like I went really into was the Tarkir set, Tarkir Dragonstorm, and I might as well do all the Tarkir stuff. I'll just bring it all together right now. But okay, yeah, right there. So first, what I'll do these precons. Felithar the Steadfast. This is 100% the precon. I haven't put a lot of time or effort into this deck. I swapped one card, the big turtle creature. Oh, the big turtle creature from Final Fantasy. I pulled it, threw it in there immediately. So I'm gonna put an NA. I haven't, I played like maybe 2 matches with it. I really, really like, the game plan of this deck. I like Abzan as a color combination too. So, I'm not saying the deck is bad. It just doesn't apply. Shiku and Narset. I have played this deck a lot, and I've made some changes to the deck list as well. This is your standard Spellslinger deck, but it is really good. It is a really well put together Spellslinger deck, and I have no frame of reference from the other con block, however, I will say that I enjoy playing this deck a lot. It's never won, so I'm trying to think like where it would be put. My enjoyment versus success rate, maybe like B. I played it, I really enjoyed it. Elsha is one of my newer decks. It's only been out twice. So her game plan, it's the same thing. It's Spellslinger. However, she makes 1/1 monks with prowess, And when I played this, it worked so incredibly well. However, I only played 2 matches with it, so I feel like it's not enough to judge. So I'm just going to put in NA. But I'm really proud of how this deck is. Maybe it'll change in the future. All right. This is another interesting Kami. Kami is another one of those really, not really old, but like older commanders that people, make decks around. Oh no, I believe there was a pre-con. Yeah. But, so, I made this deck during a time when my buddy Brian was really angering me with some of the stuff that he was pulling at the table, And so I went and I made, his name's Brian, you know him obviously. I made an anti-Brian deck, and this deck's game plan was around poison and infect, one of the worst mechanics that, everyone will hate you for. The success rate of this deck is very low. I've never won with it. However, every time I bring it out just to put Brian down, it works every single time. So, I don't know. I guess I could put it at a B. It does its job. It does the purpose, Aragorn, this is one of the Lord of the Rings precons. I only got 2 of them. I got the Aragorn deck, and then I got the Sauron deck. Aragorn, I'm going to say NA, because again, it's a precon that I have not put a lot of time into. I think I literally changed 1 card, so I can't really, I can't really put it in anything here. Sauron, I swapped the Sauron. I believe Sauron Lord of the Rings is the one that it comes with. I swapped it with Sauron the Dark Lord. It's way harder to get rid of. It's way better for the game plan. And I upgraded it severely, and it does pretty well when it gets out. I feel like sometimes it's hard to do mana with it. Like get everything you need. And of course it's a mill deck. So you're milling a bunch of stuff, or you're trying to mill stuff. And, sometimes it doesn't work out. But when this thing pops off, it's like insane. I would put it definitely, I'd say about, if I had a swap, I'd put Leo here. I'd put Magnus in the middle. And then this right here. Alright. Yeah, that's about right. I've got 2 budget deck commanders here. Another Fallout, because I love my Fallout, is 3 Dog. If you don't know his game plan, it's you attach auras to him, and I think at the combat step you can take it off and copy the aura for every single creature that you have on the field and attach it to them. This is my budget deck, so it's $25 or less is the parameters, so this is not as good as it possibly could be. However, it works very well. Its biggest weakness is I feel like it doesn't get a lot of card draw. So with that being said, can you really put a budget deck in B or higher? I don't know. I guess I would put it in C just because it's a budget deck, Council 4 is my next budget deck. This thing is a group hug deck. You help people get a bunch of cards, extra cards, while also secretly drawing your extra cards yourself and creating, I believe, 2/2 knights with vigilance. And then the game plan, you put a bunch of knights on the field, pump them up with spells, and then end the game. And this deck is really good. It works so well, and I've actually used it against actual decks, that were way more expensive, and I've won. So it's interesting. I guess I could put Council of 4 at a high C because it is budget. I don't think it deserves to, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, it's better than 3 Dog, but both decks I'm very happy with, but they're budget, so I don't think I could put them higher than a C, unfortunately. Next is SpongeBob SquarePants, reprinted, obviously as Joda. Now, if you know anything about Joda, he's an older commander, and put the card right here. The plan is very simple. It's just legendary shenanigans, Now, when I bought this, I was so excited to put the deck together, and the success rate of this deck is just horrible. It's very hard to get all the lands I need. the draw engine isn't as strong, and I feel like as soon as even a hint of Joda comes out, it gets immediately removed, and it's kind of upsetting, honestly. This deck, success rate very low, and my enjoyment of it is very low. I'm going to put it at a D along with Agatha, unfortunately. I'll do another one. Kalia. I remember there was a secret layer that came out, and Kalia was one that was being reprinted, and it looked so cool, so I thought, hey, let's get that and make a deck around it. Kalia is one of the most hated commanders, you know, because she can really get out of hand really, really quickly. So I made a deck around her, and I intentionally dumbed it down so that people don't, you know, like immediately firebomb her when she comes out. Unfortunately, its success rate is very low because of that very reason. Nobody, you know, lets it happen. And my enjoyment, honestly, is kind of low of this deck. I'm going to put it, yeah, that sounds about right. The deck is not bad. It's not a bad deck. I have tons of, like, myriad shenanigans in there. It just, people don't let the thing happen, you know? And unfortunately, that colors your own perception of it. What else can we do here? I got another Lord of the Rings commander here. This is not a precon. I built Tom Bombadil. Now, I have 2 Tom Bombadil decks. I didn't want to put 2. But basically, I have one Bombadil deck surrounded or purely around sagas, you know. And then the other one is including sagas, but also the saga creatures from the new Final Fantasy set. And I don't really have enough data with the saga creatures. Tom Bombadil is one of my favorite decks to play. I love sagas as a mechanic. I absolutely love it. However, my enjoyment does not match its success rate. Sometimes it goes off, sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know, I feel like if I had to put it somewhere, I'd put it high C. Like, it's not a bad deck. These decks are good that I built, but it's just, you know, if somebody's going to bring out like a super fast commander, there's no competing with that, you know. Someone's going to bring out like a Tifa or like, you know, just something very quick that drains you. Tom Bombadil is a deck that you bring out when everybody else is playing slow decks, basically. And it pops off, and it, you know, when it does, it's really cool. And I enjoy it a lot. However, its success rate, I'd say, is a high C. Let's do one from the Ether Drift set. Ovia. Ovia, I'm going to put the card here because I don't know what... It's something artisan, maybe? I don't know. But Ovia I was very proud of because I had never done a mono green, like, stompy stomp deck, you know? The game plan is just simple. Bring out a bunch of huge creatures and, yeah, just bully people, basically, with it. It's pretty cool. It works very well. My success rate is very high with this deck. I don't play it enough because, I don't know, it's just not my style, but it's very good. I'm always happy with it when it comes out. I put it at a B. I put it, I don't know, like there. I'd say in the middle. It's pretty good. It works very well. All right. Let's see. I guess I could do all the Final Fantasy stuff. I might as well just... okay. Jesus, it's a lot of Final Fantasy. So I'm just going to immediately... I'm going to throw Cloud in the non-applicable. It's the, you know, Limit Break precon. I've made absolutely no edits to it. And I only have, like, one match, so I can't say anything about it. Other than I like Final Fantasy VII. Let's do the other precon. Titus, I forgot, as Counterblitz, I believe is the name of it. This I added about, like, took out and added about, like, 8 cards, so I guess it still applies. I played this only 3 times, and I really like the game plan. I really like the fixing and stuff. It works very well. Its success rate is, I'd say, lukewarm. But I don't have enough data on it I put it probably like, let's say right here. And just because I don't have a lot of experience with it, I feel like this deck could be like really good, you know? Let's see. I made recently a Sephiroth Fable Soldier deck. I'm going to put the card right there. It's very simple. The game plan is just modified creature shenanigans. The problem is I've only played with this deck twice, and I feel like I didn't really get to play with it. Boros is really bad for card draw. That was my problem with it. I'm going to put it in non-apply just because I don't have a lot of experience with it yet. I don't know what to do to fix it or anything. I've only played 2 matches with it. Not enough information, so let's move on. Cloud Midgar Mercenary. This is another deck that I spent a lot of time on. If you don't know the game plan, I'm put it right there. It's just get a bunch of equipments and put it on this man. And I believe it's the triggered abilities activate twice. It's really good. It's incredible, you know. And the fact that the commander cost is just 2 means that even if it's destroyed, you can just keep bringing it out, which is so cool. This deck, I've played it I think 4 times, and it's done well every single time. But I've only won once with it. So with that being said, I don't know. I guess I'd put it. The Cloud deck is about right here, I'd say. No, I'll put it right here. It does very well. It doesn't have a lot of experience, but I feel like even in the future, this deck is gonna go off. Mimikyu. I'm gonna put it right there. This deck I'm gonna put in the non-applicable. I've played 1 match with it. It is a deck that I've constructed totally by myself. It's clerics, basically cleric tribal, and the whole point is to gain life and, you know, get your clerics all big and strong and then just dominate. I really like the deck. I've only played 1 match with it, so there's not enough data. I'm just going to put in non-applicable. Next, Yuna's Guardian. Yuna, no, it's Yuna, Hope of Spira. That's what it is. This is a very, very good deck. I've made, probably the best deck next to Miku that I've ever made, and every time I play it, it just really, really pops, and the ramp is insane. Because of this card right here, it's really made me like Selesnya as a color combination, white-green. So I'm just gonna put it in S. It's like, it's pretty good, I'd say right there, you know. I love playing this deck. It's just summoning shenanigans, basically. If you know the card, you know it. I put in a bunch of enchantments in there to protect all of my other enchantments. It's just shenanigans, and it's awesome. I love doing it. Alright, next we have Infinite Guideline Station. I've only played 1 match with it. I go through these phases where I'll make a lot of decks, and just because, you know, a new set will come out and I just get excited about a commander. I've only played 1 match with it, so I'm going to put non-applicable. You know, I really like this commander, though. I really like the deck I made. It's mostly Edge of Eternity's cards. Finally, last but not least, Medicant Guideline. Medicant Core. What is it? Medicant Core Guidelight, I believe. I'm going to put the card right there. I really, really love artifact decks. If you haven't noticed, there's like 3 of them in here. But the just absolute versatility of artifacts is just awesome. And this one is no different. The game plan is simple. It's just copy artifacts, you know? Get them in there, copy them for 2. And I have all the scary ones you think I might have in here, you know? And it's fun. It's a very fun deck. My enjoyment versus success rate, though, it's won a couple times. I put it in low B, I'd say. It's a really fun deck. I have a great time playing it. Now let's see. S looks about right. A, if I had to, I guess I'd switch Ulalek and put him up here. Yeah, that looks about right. Dog meat. I'm trying to think of my success rate. Ovia, I have won a lot with this deck. I put dog meat right here because Sauron sometimes doesn't work, but when he does, it's really good. I love Tyranids. Dog meat is really good. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to pop, but I think I've still won more matches with dog meat than Leo. I can't remember. I love him though. I love this. I put Cloud below Lord of Pain just because of experience. I played way more matches with this than that. And yeah, I'd say that's about good for B. C, I put Tom Bombadil in high C, and I'm gonna leave him there. Derivi, yeah, I have the most experience with these two in this whole set, I would say. Yeah, D, that's about right. That's about my disappointment here. I really want to love this deck, Agatha the Vile Cauldron. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work, and I'm gonna try to fix it. Joda, I think, is a lost cause. I think to just have to tear it apart and figure it out from the ground up. And Kalia, it's just unfortunate, but it's kind of the same thing. I might just need to take it apart. And these others, I just don't have a lot of experience with these. I need to edit the precons that are in here. And yeah, who knows? Maybe this will change. I've only been playing for 2 years, so this is like nuts that I have this many commanders to begin with, But there it is. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We're gonna have some more videos coming up, including some like pre-constructed. We're gonna play with those Spider-Man welcome decks, I think. And yeah, we're gonna open some Spider-Man stuff coming up, so stay tuned, guys. Very excited to share that with you. And yeah, you guys have a good day. Take it easy. See you later.